Well, last year for 2008, Luke George and Jay Marmont won the Pro Lights and Pro Open class in the Motocross Championships, respectively. Now for 2009, it's shaping up to be an even closer battle amongst the boys. Now to have a little bit of a chat with me, just as to how we think 09 is going to shape up, is Gary Morrow from fullnoise.com.au, the most downloaded webpage in dirt bikes. Now Gary, welcome mate.
Thanks, Hogs.
And first of all, let's have a little bit of a chat about the Pro Lights. There's been quite a bit of shuffling going around in the off-season.
Yeah, I think it'll still come back to Matt Moss as probably the main guy. Luke George is going to be good again, but we've got Dean Ferris over at Honda. Between them guys, Lawson Bopping has moved up from under 19s in Suzuki and will be Moss's teammate pretty much. So I think, yeah, they're the guys we're going to be watching.
So Gary, if I had to put you on a spot, one name, 2009 Pro Lights champion for motocross.
Matt Moss.
Matt Moss.
Matt
So
Moss.
Luke George not to retain his championship.
Moss was injured last year and he wasn't really a factor, and every time he's been back he's been pretty much on the money, and George is close, but I think Moss has just got the edge, I think.
What's your first thoughts on the Pro Open?
Well, I think the big change really, I mean, Jay Marmont we haven't heard a lot about him in the off-season, he's been quietly working away. But Craig Anderson switching to Kawasaki, I mean, a nice new fresh breath, reinvigorated at a new team. And Cheyne Boyd, he just gets better and better.
Todd Waters, everyone seems to be talking about Todd at the moment. He's on the gas and he had a massive come from behind ride recently where he passed both Cheyne Boyd and Jay Marmont.
Yeah, well, he's just snuck up there in the last probably month. I mean, before that he was just in the team. He was a good under-19s rider, pro light rider that's come up. But yeah, just in the last 3 weeks, he's been out there in the local scene, just nailing everyone. So I think, yeah, he's another one to watch.
And now let's just touch on one of the Aussie favourites who spent a lot of time overseas, did very well in the World Motocross Championships. He's back. We're obviously talking about Andrew McFarlane. Yep. He goes by the name of Sharky. What do you think we can expect to see from Andrew?
Well, it's sort of unknown really, because he's disappeared off the radar a bit in the last year, but he's injured himself early in the Supercross, and motocross wise he hasn't done a lot, but I think he'll definitely be top three and he'll definitely make himself known.
I personally was a little bit disappointed with his riding at the Super X. Obviously he's come off a few years of motocross outdoor riding, but I really thought he would have been just a little bit more on pace for the Supercross. But haven't seen him today here, round one, Albury's looking pretty good and he's looking to have a little bit of his old form back again.
Yeah, I think he's sort of put all that Supercross behind him obviously, and he's focused on the outdoors and he's looking good.
Now veterans, who do we really need to give a little bit of a plug here? There's quite a few out there.
Oh yeah.
You'd have to say Ando would be one of them, wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, Ando's probably leading at the moment. Cameron Taylor, he's just been around forever and still just as fast as ever. I guess it's between them two really.
Now we briefly touched on earlier on the formats, but let's just quickly go in just a little bit more in detail. As with Super X last year, they've started to, I guess, make the formats a little bit more sprint based, and it's all around spectators. And this first round here, yes, we're seeing a sprint race here.
Yeah, look, it's a bit mixed between the riders. I mean, you know, some riders love it, some don't. It is based around the fans and entertainment. You know, to name names, I know Cheyne Boyd thinks it sucks, but Cheyne Boyd's a fit guy who wants to get out there 30 minutes and knock them down with speed and fitness. So it's based towards the privateer too, because not everyone can train flat out during the week and doesn't have all week to train. So it gives them privateers that can't train a long time a bit more, you know, of an edge towards a 15-minute moto rather than the 30.
Well, Gaz, it's definitely shaping up to be another cracker of a year, that's for sure. Well, guys, that's our opinion on how we think 2009 is going to shape up. Let's have a little bit of a chat with some of the industry big guns and see what they think.
Through the whole off season, I've trained my ass off, and we turn up and our races are shorter, and it is in saying that it is going to be hard to 15s back to back, but you know, in the 320s, but it still sort of takes away, you know.
This off season has been my best ever so far. I've been putting a lot of hours in, and the bike is awesome. We've done a lot of testing, so I'm really looking forward to this year. I think that the hardest year is going to be in the Pro Opens in a lot of years. We've got young kids coming through with Honda guys. You know, there's obviously Jay and Boyd still there. There's any one of these guys can go out there and win. They're fast and they're young and hungry. So I'm sort of the old dog here and got to keep them at bay.
We're just going to try and pretend this is round 10 of the championship last year, not round 1 of this year's championship. We're going to carry the momentum that we had as a team and for the riders, the momentum we had last year at the last round carried into this year. So as far as equipment, health with the riders, the psyche of the team, we feel very positive and strong.
It's just going to be consistency over the whole rounds. You know, with these shorter formats, each one's point scored, so there's a lot more points at some rounds and other rounds, so it's just, you've got to be consistent all year.
It rewards the guys that probably don't put in the effort so much, I think. You know, obviously got a good starter, which luckily I think I am, so that's going to help. But yeah, I prefer the long races, but it is what it is, and everyone's got to do it. So, you know, who knows, it might work out in my favour.
I'm not going to count on everything. I haven't raced against these guys for 8 years. A lot of young guys, a lot of crazy guys out there. But for the most part, you know, trying to use my experience and my technique and my good rider ability to get out there and do the job.
The bike's fantastic, and I can't ask for much more. So this year I'd really like to podium. That's my ultimate goal. So I'm just going to give it everything I got.
You know, I'd be lying if I didn't say there wasn't any pressure. But you know, I don't have the #1 plate. I'm not defending it. So you know, the pressure's sort of on Luke at the moment, and you know, whoever wins this next race is going to have the red plate, and then the pressure's put on them. But I'm just going to go out and ride smooth, and I want to finish this championship hopefully in front. So we'll go out and give it the best shot.
Well, there you go, Gaz.
Yeah, well, they're always confident and full of the same cliches and that, but I think this year it'll be close and good racing.
We've got to say a big thank you, Gary. I tell you what, your opinion means the world to us, mate. It's great to have it.
Thanks a lot, Hogs. It's always great to be here.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget anything to do with dirt bikes. All you need to do is log on to fullnoise.com.au.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Break it down.